Police officers sure are law enforcement officials who are tasked with maintaining public order, protecting individuals and property, and preventing and investigating crime. However, there have been instances where police officers have abused their power, used excessive force, and violated people's rights, particularly those from marginalized communities.
Oh, somebody help me.
These actions can lead to distrust and fear of law enforcement, exacerbating already strained relationships between the police and the communities they serve. But can they exploit such power? What are the legal penalties if they do so? And if the police abuse his here power, would they be treated differently? Stick around as we take a closer look at two of the most brutal cases that could make us think of cops as judicial pillars twice. Our first case kicks off with Sergeant Mario Cardona versus Daniel Garza. Daniel Garza was helpless after being thrown and pinned to the ground. Officer Mario Cardona, who Garza had known for years, was on the verge of breaking his wrist. Garza recalled, "I was trying to be a man and trying to hold in the pain, but man, that wrist lock hurts. He's just bending it and bending it." But what compelled Cardona to go so far? It turns out that his actions were motivated by rage toward Garza, whom he accuses of attempting to kidnap his stepdaughter. Are cops bestowed such authority? Seems that the two men had quite the history, with Garza having previously dated Cardona's stepdaughter, Naomi Villanueva. The relationship had hit rock bottom, with Villanueva moving out of her parents' house to live with a friend. In May 2015, Garza allegedly took Villanueva without her consent from her friend's house and brought her to her parents' house in Whittier, where Cardona lived across the street. Cardona saw Garza doing pilots in his yard and ordered him to come down to the street. As soon as Garza came down, Cardona began his assault. According to Garza, he was not the aggressor, and a neighbor who witnessed the incident testified in Garza's favor. The sheriff deputies who arrived at the scene noticed redness on Garza's face, bruises and abrasions to his knees, and redness on his wrists. Garza filed a complaint against Cardona, which led to a federal lawsuit against Cardona, Chief Beck, and the city of Los Angeles. Garza alleged false arrest, unreasonable search and seizure, excessive force, assault and battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. A video of the incident filmed by one of Garza's neighbors was also presented at the trial. They had made up a story of what had happened to make him look like a hero and me look like a criminal, says Daniel Garza. The U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson presided over the hearing where the former Deputy City Attorney, Michael Amarian, spoke in defense of the city. The jury found Cardona to be acting with malice as an off-duty officer, and on June 26, 2017, they ordered him to pay Garza $210,000 in damages. On top of that, the court added another $664,000 in attorney's fees and $26,000 for post-trial costs. The City of Law refused to take responsibility for Cardona's actions and even refused to indemnify the officer, forcing him to pay for the charges out of his pocket. Jim DeSimone, Garza's attorney, claims, "This is the problem with the left. This is why people are out on the street." The case is a clear example of police officers using excessive force against individuals and getting away with it. In this case, however, Garza was able to stand up to the authorities who violated his rights, and he was able to win his lawsuit against Cardona. The jury's decision to find Cardona guilty of acting with malice sends a strong message that law enforcement officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens. It is worth noting that this case also highlights the importance of civilians being aware of their rights and standing up to law enforcement officers when they feel their rights have been violated. Garza's decision to file a complaint and a lawsuit against Cardona shows that individuals can take action against police brutality and excessive force. As more and more people become aware of their rights and are willing to take action, law enforcement officers will be held accountable for their actions, and if you sue a cop in LAA for excessive force, you are in for a wild ride. However, Garza's decision to stand up to Cardona and the authorities who violated his rights resulted in a victory for him, sending a strong message that law enforcement officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens. The case of Harold Hill is just a perfect example of how our justice system can go wrong. From a gruesome rape and murder to a wrongful conviction, this case definitely ticks all the boxes. So, what underwent? First off, we have the detectives who were assigned to the case, Kenneth Bordeaux and John Halloran, the so-called beacons of justice. They were the ones who got the confession out of Peter Williams, who was later found to be in jail at the time of the crime. So, how did they churn out a false confession of someone who wasn't even there? Hill's confession is also questionable, as he claims that he was physically and mentally abused until he confessed to crimes he didn't commit. Is this the kind of behavior we expect from our law enforcement officers? Moving on to the trial itself. Hill was only 16 years old when the crime was committed, but was tried as an adult at the age of 31. This is an interesting move from the prosecution, considering that neither of the defendants had a criminal record prior to the incident. The jury found Hill and Young guilty of murder, and they were sentenced to life without parole. But 13 long years later, DNA tests revealed that the hair found at the crime scene and the cellular materials under Kathy Morgan's fingernails didn't match either of the defendants. Think of the agony Hill went through for something he didn't do. What made Hill hold on to his life is still astonishing. Despite this evidence, the prosecutors disputed the findings, suggesting that the hairs were unrelated to the crime and that the cellular material could have come from sweat or drool left over by the recovery team. It's shocking that the prosecutors were so stubborn, even in the face of such clear evidence. Harold and Young were eventually released from prison, but tragedy struck when Young was killed in a hit-and-run incident. Hill, however, filed a complaint against the city of Chicago, the police, and the two detectives involved in the case, accusing them of forcing a confession and violating his civil rights. The case was settled for $1.25 million, with Hill receiving $500,000 and the rest going to attorney's fees. It's surprising that the detectives were only asked to pay a measly $7,500 each for their part in this whole debacle. Do you think that is bad? Wait till you hear this. It's also worth noting that Hill was later convicted again for an unrelated armed robbery charge and is currently serving 27 years in prison. But despite this, it's clear that the justice system failed Harold Hill in the past. This case highlights the importance of reforming our justice system to ensure that wrongful convictions don't occur, and that those who abuse their power are held accountable. The case of Harold Hill is a tragedy of errors, starting from the investigation to the trial and subsequent conviction. Being wrongfully imprisoned for 13 years, Hill was not awarded a chance to conform to life outside because he was turned into a criminal by the system. The system absolutely messed the hell out of him, and the cops only paid $7,500 each. When cops do what they did, they need to be locked away for at least as long as the victims they put in jail. What do you think of these cases? Which do you think is most unfair? Sound off in the comments below and make sure to let us know if we missed out on anything. While you are at it, make sure to hit that subscribe and leave a like to never miss an update from us.
That's before. Stay! Hey! Stop the get the car! Get the car!
November 2022, Deputy Michael Noel of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office spotted a driver who was allegedly following his patrol vehicle too closely. Deputy Noel pulled and stopped the car and engaged him in an angry exchange, responding arrogantly despite the driver's compliance and courtesy. The driver handed up his license but took some time to locate his registration and evidence of insurance. Meanwhile, another pickup truck operated by Kenneth Espinoza, the driver's father, was parked behind Deputy Noel's car. Mr. Espinoza was only waiting for his son to arrive so they could continue to a repair shop.
Okay, when you find that, stay in the vehicle, your registration and insurance. I'll be back.
After checking the driver's information, Deputy Noel informed him that he was being ticketed for following too closely under Colorado law, which is a Class A traffic offense.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Did you find it?
Recording too. Good.
No, I didn't. You didn't find it?
No, you didn't have me a sticker for He's coming on my door.
So you didn't find your insurance or registration?
I ain't got any insurance. I'm sitting right here.
Okay. All right. You're getting a citation, so go ahead and close your door.
I don't care. No.
As Deputy Noel returned to his patrol vehicle to give the citation, another officer, Lieutenant Henry Trujillo, arrived and began arguing with Mr. Espinoza. Despite Mr. Espinoza's explanation that he was waiting for his son, both cops asked him to leave. Mr. Espinoza obeyed and began driving away, but Deputy Noel decided to cause trouble by holding onto the vehicle's door handle and demanding him to stop. Surprisingly, Deputy Noel drew out his service revolver and pointed at Mr. Espinoza, demanding that he exit the vehicle.
Do you always stop behind cops when they pull people over? I ain't just stopped right here. Okay, you don't need to be here. I ain't you don't need right to be behind here, okay? Sir. You need to go. No, I don't. I'm waiting on my son. Right, he's fine. My ride back to Wilson.
Leave. Leave. That's before.
You can stay. Stay. Hey, stop the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. What are you gonna do? You gonna
SD4, give me the radio.
Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the fuck car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car.
Lieutenant Trujillo also uses taser on Mr. Espinoza while questioning the cops about their behavior.
Hey, now get out the car! I don't have to. Get out of the car! Yeah.
He physically restrained Mr. Espinoza by yanking on his arm, preventing him from opening the door.
It's on his off. Don't pull away from me. I'm not. You're gonna get lit up. I'm not. Okay, you're gonna get lit up. You're breaking my arm, man. Hold on, I'm gonna get out.
Despite his lack of resistance, Deputy Noel tased Mr. Espinoza many times. Lieutenant Trujillo then handcuffed, manhandled, and tased in the face and threw Mr. Espinoza into a police van where the door crashed into his leg.
Get in the car. Now. Damn, I'm fucking. Now. Fucking. Get in the car. You know. This is ridiculous. Happy force. Take it hard. God damn, I don't see it. Happy force. The fuck goes.
After this, Deputy Noel was searching inside Mr. Espinoza's pickup truck, and Lieutenant Trujillo went back to Mr. Espinoza to ask for his information. In response, Mr. Espinoza said that he refuses to answer questions. This apparently triggered Lieutenant Trujillo and sent him on a power trip as he aggressively pulled Mr. Espinoza out of the patrol vehicle, and all three officers on the scene dragged him on the ice violently. While being searched.
Following that, Deputy Noel examined Mr. Espinoza's pickup truck while Lieutenant Trujillo requested Mr. Espinoza's information. When Mr. Espinoza refused to answer questions, Lieutenant Trujillo roughly took him out of the patrol vehicle, and all three officers dragged him violently onto the ice while searching him. Mr. Espinoza complained about having taser pins placed into his lip, causing visible damage to his mouth.
What's your date of birth? Don't answer questions. Take me to jail. You're going to jail. I'll call my attorney. Call your attorney. Okay. You're going to jail. You're going to get charged further if you don't give us the information we need. It's okay. Where's your ID? You have your wallet on you? Don't do that, man. I'm going to get you out. I'm going to pass search you. Now get out. I got my wallet. Get out now. Get out of the car now. Get out the car. Okay. Okay. Damn. This is how it's going to work. Okay. You're going to do what you're told to do, and that's it. Stand up. Up against the car. Spread your feet.
Later, the district attorney declared that no charges will be filed against Mr. Espinoza, thereby ending that matter. Mr. Espinosa's counsel claimed that a civil case would be filed, claiming multiple instances of police wrongdoing. Both officers involved are still on duty, and an internal inquiry is underway to establish whether they committed misconduct. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department refuses to comment on the case. In the next incident, an officer harassed and followed a driver for no apparent reason. The officer failed to activate his emergency lights or signal a traffic stop. The driver felt suspicious and instructed his passenger to begin recording for his own safety.
That way everybody can see. So I went to the gas station because I had to go get a couple things. I've been using my turn signals. Plus, I've been doing the speed limit. There's 2 cops sitting on the side of the road. This cop has been following me for like 4 or 5 miles now. Everywhere I go, he keeps following me.
The vehicle eventually pulled over and questioned the officer about the reason for the traffic stop.
So I'm going to get out and find out what the problem is.
So he turned his lights on as soon as we pulled up here.
After a brief silence, the officer stated that he would explain after the motorist identified himself.
So I just took my seatbelt off.
The motorist, invoking his constitutional rights, declined to furnish identification in the absence of legal justification for the stop.
Evening, sir. Deputy Rouse, the Sheriff's Office. How you doing? You got your license, registration, proof of insurance for you tonight?
What's the nature of the stop?
As soon as I know who you are, I'll be happy to explain that.
Is this Nazi Germany? Do I got to provide papers before you tell me why?
Well, if I don't know who I'm talking to, in case you run off or flee, I'll let you know who I'm talking to. So if you don't mind providing your identification, I'll be happy to go forward with you.
Recognizing the driver's awareness of the law, the officer made up a fake justification for the stop, stating the vehicle lacked a front bumper. The driver, however, swiftly refuted this assertion, and the officer eventually recognized that the driver had done nothing illegal.
I don't think Nazi Germany exists anymore.
Exactly my point. You do realize in order to get ID from somebody, you have to have a reason and articulate that reason for the stop, right?
I'm well aware of how it works.
Well, you do realize I'm a constitutionalist, so I know that. So unless you can articulate, this is my property, yes. Property. Well, I don't live here, but this is my property.
This is where you're staying? Okay.
This is not where I'm staying, but I own this property.
Oh, fair enough.
While chuckling at the police's foolishness, the driver demanded that the officer call his boss. The officer acknowledged the absence of grounds for the stop at the end of the encounter.
I knew exactly what you were going to do. There's nothing wrong with my car. Every light on my car works.
Yes, sir.
So what's the nature of the stop?
Well, the nature of the stop is when you went by, it didn't look like there was a front bumper. And then as I was behind the car trying to run a registration, you took multiple turns and it appeared to be evading me. All I'm doing is checking out what's going on.
You better get your goddamn supervisor. When is it illegal to make turns?
I didn't say it was illegal to make turns.
Dude, we both know where this is going, and you know you have no reason to pull me over.
All you need in Michigan is reasonable suspicion to make a traffic stop.
Yes, you have to have RAS. But what is your single articulable suspicion?
It appeared you were trying to avoid police contact. It looked like you had a bumper on the front of the car when you went by.
Dude, I'm not giving ID because I didn't do nothing wrong.
Okay. Is this your car?
It's in my dad's name, yes.
It's in your dad's name?
Yep.
Okay, sir.
Dude, this is going to make an awesome YouTube video. You just admitted that I committed no crime or no traffic infraction. When the f*** is it illegal to make turns?
Well,
there is a bumper on my car.
Well, it's...
Now let's move on to the next case. Officers Ashley Ploft and Adam Hobbs of the Toledo Police Department responded to an accident scene on January 1st, 2023. While there, they saw a passing vehicle and suspected the driver nearly collided with a tow truck. The officers pursued the vehicle without using their emergency lights, and it quickly pulled over. The car included 2 females, Kaylin Smart and Melvina Keith, who were returning home from a night out. Officer Hobbs approached the vehicle and wrenched open the passenger door without warning or conversation. This aggressive action violated Miss Smart's Fourth Amendment rights, which protect her from unreasonable searches and seizures. Officer Hobbs responded to Miss Smart's question regarding his aggressive behavior by instructing her to shut up. He ordered her out of the car and pulled her out, pinning her on the ground. Officer Ploft acted similarly belligerently, indicating that she was going to take the people from the automobile. She then opened the driver's side door, ordered Miss Keith to exit the vehicle, and handcuffed her. The cops failed to inform the women of the reason for their incarceration. Despite the fact that neither Miss Smart nor Miss Keith posed any threat, they were both violently assaulted.
Why are you opening the door like that?
Shut your mouth.
Officer Ploft threw Miss Keith to the ground by holding her hair, while Officer Hobbs joined in detaining Miss Smart. Officer Ploft punched Miss Keith at least 5 times. When Miss Smart attempted to converse with Officer Hobbs, he forcibly threw her back on the ground and hauled her to the police vehicle.
2-6. Turn the car off. Turn the car off.
You
Out.
went through an accident scene.
Step out.
Throughout the encounter, the officers failed to provide a clear justification for the arrest. They accused the women of nearly killing people, despite the fact that dash cam footage indicated no such threat. Officer Hobbs falsely stated that Miss Smart had punched him many times. A passerby inquired about the event, causing the officers to create a story about the women hitting them.
Sleep on the floor. Let go of my hand. Get a proof. On my mother. Guess what? This ain't my fight.
Officer Hobbs even claimed the women had smashed into a tow truck, contradicting his first account of a near miss.
Oh, I'm too lit for this. Peter, bruised my face up, smashed me into the ground. Is this nigga okay? How is he allowed to be working? This shit is crazy. And you just smashed my head against the car.
Miss Smart and Miss Keith were escorted to the Lucas County Correction Center, where Officer Hobbs and Officer Ploft were seen laughing and joking before escorting them inside.
Damn, you just killed people?
Was banging my head against the car.
Yeah, it sure the was.
Because you have no other.
Because you had my hand. I don't know where my handcuff keys are.
Mine's in the right pocket.
Hey.
Post the most abuse.
The women were charged with various offenses, but not with assaulting an officer. Officer Hobbs attempted to explain his use of force by claiming he utilized joint manipulation and strikes to gain control of Miss Smart.
Punch me in the face like 3 or 4 times.
Notably, Officer Ploft had been involved in a similar event a few months previously when she assaulted Olympic boxer O'Shea Jones without experiencing serious consequences.
They drove through a crash and he crashed into a tow truck.
Did she?
It looked like it. I mean, there's a scrape on the side. There's scrapes on both sides, though, so I don't know.
Those would be like the car. No, the car's not showing.
Yeah.
Anyone can get a shot butter on me, Frankel.
You got a scratch right on your back, too.
Yeah, she scratched. Yeah. She popped me pretty good. Got me right square in the nose. Made my eyes water a little bit. She paid for it, though.
I was going to say, my finger might be broken.
Yeah, the bite probably hurt the most. We'll see. Playback.
Officer Ploft and Officer Hobbs were both placed under investigation by the Toledo Police Department 3 months after the event on April 29, 2023. The government has 100 days to conduct the inquiry and take appropriate measures.